fans, this is Kris Kloss from Wrestling Society X, reminding you all, if you want the latest news in professional wrestling, don't forget to log on to right here to InYourHeadOnline.com, and don't forget to watch Wrestling Society X every Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. on MTV. You do not want to miss it.
All right, we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, handsome Jackie Jones, left my right-hand man.
1-inch biceps, the power goat. Ah!
It's very enthusiastic tonight.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm pumped.
And joining us right off the bat, he's probably wondering why at this moment. We've got the human horror film, Supreme, making his return to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing well. I'm doing great. I'm getting ready for the MEXPW, and I got Sage Shin on my side. I got my son, Kano Supreme, as my manager. Everything's going well. Oh, things are going good. I'm wrestling the Messiah, which is almost ridiculous, but yeah, all is going well.
Mm-hmm. And we'll let everybody know. You go to MEXPW.com. I keep saying MEXPW, but either way it works. And there's a link right on the site, so it's like magic. You can just click on it and you go there. February 25th. It's in Hollywood, California. All the information is on the website. And he's already said who he's fighting. He's fighting Messiah. And you mentioned your kid, and I noticed in the video, Messiah says he wants to hurt you in front of your son.
Trust me, I mean, he's hurt me several times in front of my son by him just, always being at the shows and stuff. But now he stepped up and he wants, he's struggling and trying to be a wrestler. So he's in there too, but he's my manager, and I think he's going to help me out. I think he'll help me out, like not that by cheating or anything like that, but I mean, he's my manager, so he'll help me out. Mm-hmm. Supreme, my son, will help me out, and it's like kind of an odd thing, and and it's like in the other matches we have Damon 666, and then we have Bestia 666. Bestia is his son, and first time I think in America that they're actually working the same show.
That's pretty sweet.
Interesting, also, yeah.
Yeah. You think sometime we'll see the Supreme father and son tag team?
Oh yes, it'll come in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. He's learning, and he's really good. And I mean, when you have to learn, and you learn on Hard Knocks, where you have to learn in death matches and stuff, it's like you grow up fast in that. Mm-hmm.
Now he also likes fedoras, so I like him because I'm always wearing the fedora. Big thumbs up for me. Now, we got someone on the line already, and everybody else, if you want to call in, it's 508-644-8503. Actually, he just hung up, so I'll take that back. But if you want to call in, that is actually the number.
Got scared.
Oh, he did. He was petrified. Just like Messiah.
Did I talk too long?
No,
I'll be quiet. Just call and come in.
It'll be fine. Now, Messiah, I don't think he's been wrestling for a while, has he?
He wrestles here and there, but mostly East Coast thing, and that's my thing. It's like, okay, jackass, you left, and, you went to the East Coast, and you went for the CZW and all that other bullshit wrestling. To me, it's like, okay, XPW, we left, and we did whatever we did, and whatever, but I've always tried to just stay local. I've always tried to be a local wrestler, and I always hate it. The main thing I hated is that XPW tried to leave and go to the East Coast and do the whole, ECW arena bullshit and all that. And it's like, you know what? I'm Supreme, and I'm a West Coast wrestler, and I'll always support West Coast wrestling.
You think that kind of hurt the company when they went to the ECW arena and they tried to get exclusive rights to the arena? And...
Yeah. I think that screwed us over. I think we're doing a good thing in the East Coast. I'm sorry, not on the East Coast, out here. Mm-hmm. So we're doing a good thing out here, and we had a good fan base. And then we went out there for no reason, and it's like we're flying all these West Coast wrestlers out there, which makes no sense at all. you know, because we're West Coast wrestlers and we had our fan base already, and we left our fan base and we tried to make a new fan base, which made no sense at all. To me, honestly, in my heart, it made no sense at all. I'm an East Coast wrestler, and XPW should have stayed out here, and we should have, you know, continued wrestling out here and, you know, trying to do our fan base out here. Not out there, but out here.
Speaking of XPW, actually here in the chat room, the blue guy, he brings up, I don't know if you want to answer this up, but did you have, clean this up, did you have your way with any porn stars while working for XPW?
I've had my opportunities, and it was so funny because I've had my opportunities, but I swear, no. But yeah, I had opportunities, and almost everybody in XPW had their opportunities, and no wrestler. Actually, I don't know too many wrestlers that really, well, maybe a couple, but that didn't really, you know, pursue that. It's like, you know, it was like my whole thing with XPW, and when I started, it's like I had my wife, I had my son, and, you know, Keno Supreme, and that was the whole thing. It's like I started out, and I even had Christy Miss offer me as like $20 for a blowjob. I'm like, well, and I joked with her. I was like, well, give me $20 and I'll let maybe blow me. But it was a joke, and you know, but I mean that's the whole porno thing. And it's like, no, I was always the family person, and that was more of a joke. And the main thing that I had with Christy Miss, because we always had our little makeout sessions, but the biggest thing that we ever had is I took her to, after the Go Funk Yourself, the match with me and Messiah, was we went and we, that big old match we had where I'm all bloody and whatever, I got took off with, you know, the ambulance took us away and stuff, and we went to Pink's, and we had Pink's, and, you know, it's like, I didn't try to sexual anything or anything, but that's was always my thing, and like I was always a family guy, and the most thing I had was we went to Pink's, and that was their first chili sauerkraut.
Chili sauerkraut, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it your last one too, or?
Oh no, I love Pink's.
Oh, really? Okay. Let's see here. I think his name's Steven's on the line. I might have got the name wrong, but 347 area code.
Hey, how you doing?
What's your name?
I'm good.
Anthony.
Anthony, all right. This is close enough.
How you doing?
Close.
I agree with you that the Vince McMahon ECW sucked a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but
that was horrible.
I'm a big fan of since Hogan won the belt in '84, and I liked Raw the other night where CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I think that was the best match of the year. But the biggest moment was Undertaker.
Okay. Do you have a question for Supreme?
Yes, I do. What it felt like when ECW went out of business for the first time?
Well, I mean, when they went out, I mean, it's like opened some doors for us, but not too much, but it opened some doors for us, but it was all good. It was like, you know, it's like we realized, you know, the doors were closed, and they got me to go to Japan a couple of times and stuff, and, you know, things just happened for us, and for some more indie LA guys, it just worked out more for us.
Mm. Well, what is it about hardcore wrestling that, you know, it keeps coming back, people still want to see it?
I mean, that's like, it's something different. It's just something more realistic about it, honestly. It's just something more, if I do it, and like when I say it's like, okay, to be honest, when I say I'm a wrestler and what I do is for the fans, and this is honest, what I do is for the fans is what they want to see. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
It's like it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, my man. Thanks for the Facebook ad.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Anthony.
Welcome. Bye.
If you call in, just you know, you ask your question and let the guest finish answering it. Then
we gotta explain this every show.
Yeah, you think
he
they would know.
He ended what I was saying, so it's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
He knew what was going on, apparently. But let's see. There's a lot of people on the show besides Masai and yourself, and I want to ask you about this guy. He's like Kaos, who had on the show. Was a friend of mine. Oh, when did he start using the Gorgeous name? And do you think it's fitting?
I'm sorry.
Oh, do you think Gorgeous, the Gorgeous nickname for Kaos? Do you think that's a fitting name?
Well, have you seen him lately? I mean, he's fucking awesome. I mean, the thing with Kaos, it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm the deathmatch guy, and I always do what I do. And when I see Kaos, that's my nephew, and I love him to death. That's my nephew. Mm-hmm. And I see what he does, and he's like, oh my God. He is like, to me, like, to me, it's like, he's like, I don't know, it's hard because I'm his uncle, and he's learned every little thing about his uncle and what his uncle liked, and he's done it, and he's doing it, and he's been crazy, and he's like outrageous, and he's like, to me, he's outrageous. He's like, Gorgeous George. He's like, growing up watching wrestling, he's everything, and I am so goddamn fucking proud about my nephew watching him like that. Right? I mean, he's like.
I'm a big fan of Kaos. Yeah, I think he's one of the most talented guys, not the most talented guy, of like the XPW group of guys.
Oh yeah. He grew like with me. I'm like, okay, I'll do the deathmatch, I'll do that, and him, he blew up, and he was like, he took it beyond, and I think he's the best wrestler that ever came out of XPW.
Mm-hmm.
And then just his style, and like he has a school, and I couldn't do a school. Honestly, I couldn't do a school. Maybe I could, but I don't know. But I don't know if I could have. But like seeing him and him do the school, and the school, I'm proud of every student. And then I try to help out, and sometimes I go and try to teach, but it's all on him. He's like, I'm so proud of my nephew.
Mm-hmm. And that's SantinoBros.net. There's a link always on our website. It's right up there, and I believe there's a link on that site to In Your Head, so it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff. There's a lot of questions here in the chat room. Let's see. He wanted to know thoughts on the night New Jack threw Vic Grimes off the scaffolding and nearly killed him.
Well, I mean, he threw him off, and no one could really control New Jack. I mean, I'm always good with New Jack, but yeah, I was just happy. I was happy that Vic Grimes survived that fall. That's all I could say with that one. Is I'm glad he survived that fall.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is New Jack like? To hang out with.
Oh my God, he is so insane. He's like one of the most insane people to ever hang out with. It's like when I did the video game for Backyard Wrestling 2, and I hung out with him a lot, and honestly, there's no explanation. He's like him and Sandman. I would have to say both of them. Mm-hmm. They're insane. It's like you hang out with them, and it's like it's a whole different level. It's like, oh my God, it's like you have to it's almost like you have to start taking care of them. It's insane. It's like, oh, cool, we're hanging out, but it's like, I gotta take care of you now. It's like, it's so insane. It's like, yeah, that's the way it is with those guys. Mm-hmm. The ECW guys are just insane.
Incher, did you have a question?
Yeah, I got a question from the message board. Mr. Moxie, he wants to know, what do you think that made XPW different than other hardcore federations like CZW?
I think the difference was we had TV, we had like a little bit more, like Rob Black was like a porno guy, and he pursued it like to make it a little more different, to put it over the top and make us like more known and stuff, and he did a good job. And and the thing with him as he got lucky that he got like people like me and my nephew Kaos. Like we're just like back then we were like whatever, but it's like starting up a company and you know he got the Messiah and he got like all these other different wrestlers that you know, and then he just got lucky with us and then it exploded and then the way he promoted it and then with ECW, I even got from ECW wrestlers like, oh, you guys do the real stuff. It's like, you know, we had barbed wire, we have the thumbtacks, and like I'd get from them certain ones of, you know, I'd talk to them and they would say, oh, you guys do the real stuff. And it's like, yeah, we did the real stuff. We did thumbtacks, we did barbed wire, and real barbed wire, real thumbtacks, real, you know, everything we did was real. You know, yeah, we were young, but that's what made XPW.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever come up with an idea for a match or like a spot that no one would agree to do? Or vice versa, anyone ever come to you with a spot that he's like, you know, that's one thing I'm not going to be doing?
No, that never came up. The weirdest thing was when I did the second deathmatch tournament, and then I came in and Rob Black was staring at me, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? Because I just seen the look in his face, and he's like, I want you to fall off this ladder, and, you know, a 16-foot ladder in the ring and this and that, and so I had to figure it out. I had to, like, you know, figure it out in the ring and stuff, and figure it out, and, you know, it was harsh, and I had, like, light tubes stuck in my arm and everything, and yeah, it's like, and even like, he didn't even ask me to do the worst things that I've done because I've gotten lit on fire, and that wasn't his idea. That was me and Kaos's idea. We want a great match, and we'll do this. And I got lit on fire, and that was kind of our idea, not Loud's idea. And I was lit on fire for like 16 seconds. So it's like, I don't know, there's just no certain thing that he said that, oh, and it's like the worst thing that I would ever take is like, I think the worst thing I ever took was probably from me and Kaos ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the scars ever totally heal from you know, getting caught on fire?
They healed up decent enough, but I mean, I am scarred. I mean, I have scars on my arm and my chest. I am scarred from it. So, I mean, but I'm not like, you know, my face was also, when it initially happened, was scarred up too. But they said get out of the sun, whatever, and everything else healed up. But my chest is a little discolored, and my arm is real. They wanted to graft my arm, but.
For when you were wrestling for XPW, who were the guys you would travel with?
I travel with obviously Kaos and most of the LA guys, and the funny one was always Angel because he was like always the new guy.
Yeah.
So he would actually come over, sleep over at my house, and would go on the plane, and you know, even when in Pittsburgh when he broke his ankle, but you know he had to come to my house and he'd drive from there. And because he was always a green boy at the time, and it was supposed to be like my times was always with Angel. It was like, you know, with Joey and or Kaos, and you know it was all the same. It was Webb and Veronica Kane, and we always had good times though. It was always fun.
Yeah. Was there any? Do you have any good like road story or rib story from those times?
I think my favorite story was the tag team. It was the I don't know who those guys were. They were the Suicide guys or the Straight Edge guys. They became the tag team champions in XPW. But one time it was like I was in the room and Kaos was asking me to put some fake tanning stuff on them. And then these guys are outside. I'm like, okay, hold on. Well, you know, I put a glove on and I start doing it. And I go, run out of the room. And so he ran out of the room, and I have all this stuff on my glove. It looks like, you know, it's just brown. It just looks nasty. It looks disgusting. He runs out, like runs down the hallway, and they look at my hand, and they're like, oh, my God. That was like one of my favorite moments of messing with people.
Yeah.
No, your name's a human horror film, and I know you're a fan of horror films. Is there any horror movies you think you could borrow from for like a character in wrestling or an angle?
Oh, my favorite is always Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was always my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Return of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah, you gotta love Return of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More brains. When are you going to
Nothing
start
is
eating
today,
people's brains?
Like, I don't know. I like the first one. Second one. I'm thinking I'm like the second one.
The second Return of the Living Dead?
Yeah, it was a little more action and a little more out there.
Mm-hmm. Both of them are. Those are two of my favorite horror zombie films, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to think about. No one ever thought of zombies eating brains. That's like the only movie they eat brains, but everyone associates zombies with eating brains.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jesse Mays, he wants to know memories of working the 3 Kings of the Death matches, tournaments for XPW, baptized in blood. He must mean the third, I believe.
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
He just want to know your memories of working the 3rd King of the Death match tournament.
The third one, I don't know. All of them are hard. I mean, those are the worst matches to do.
Mm.
Honestly, just doing any kind of like tournament is like it's so hard.
For a King of the Deathmatch tournament, is something that would be hard. Would be wanting to save like the biggest moment for last and not outdoing yourself in the middle of the tournament because you still have another match to do.
Yeah. It's like you don't want to I don't want this one to be the best one, and you're building up. You want to build up to it. And that's so hard because just any death match you do, you want it to be spectacular. Mm. So it's like doing like a tournament. It's so hard because, the last one's got to be spectacular. And it's got to top the first two. If you go to the last match, the last one's got to be spectacular and top everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the way I work all death matches. That's the way I work. Just, permanently is like I wrestle and I do death matches and I just want the fans to be happy and, no matter what type of match it is like I just want them to be happy and
yeah. Interesting. Do you have a question?
Even though I get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what you said the fire, that's probably the worst thing that happened to you. Is that would you call that your worst injury?
Yeah, the fire and then my rib injury in the second deathmatch tournament where I fell off the ladder and hit I cracked my ribs.
Oh. Mm. Yeah, I hear that's painful.
Intra, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question. I was just wondering how MEXPW started.
I also in Mexico, in Monterrey, Mexico, for NGX, mm-hmm. I got hit in the head with a trash can, but it ripped out my nose ring.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't hurt that bad because it broke my nose. So I didn't feel it as bad as it would have been. But yeah, I still have a scar on my nose where my nose ring got ripped out.
I've always wondered about that, nose rings, eyebrow rings, earrings, if that ever gets hooked on anything, especially in like a hardcore match and we get ripped out.
Yeah, all together I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piercings ripped out through wrestling.
Mm-hmm. No, like Prince Albert or anything.
No.
Okay. that one would probably hurt.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Intro wants to know how did MEXPW get started?
That was like from what I know is Mike Hartfield. He was one of the guys behind XPW, mm-hmm. and Damien 666, who was XPW and does stuff in Preston Mall and several Mexico places. They got together and they want to make a company. And I guess basically that's what it's from. It's those two. It's the brainchild of them two. Mike Hartsfield and Damien.
Mm-hmm.
And Damien, I've feuded with him for years in Mexico. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's the one who set up this interview.
Yeah.
Mm. It's MXPW.com. You're wrestling the Messiah, and it's going to be February 25th at the Arena in Hollywood, California. And you guys think you have any plans to do like pay-per-views in the future? That's starting to be a pretty big thing among like a lot of the bigger indie shows.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, it's more of a Mike question. I'm just working the show, but yeah, I think he mentioned that they're going to do pay-per-view and different things for it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll ever see a return to Negro Clause?
I honestly doubt that.
Yeah. I'm the only one.
No matter how much everyone wants to see that. But
I thought I was the only one holding out for it.
Oh, okay.
maybe you could market some toys or something. I don't know. Go Negro Clause on to them.
That's my first ever Negro Clause question.
I feel very proud now. I saw Kris Kloss is doing some videos on the website. I was always a big fan of his. I think he's a really underrated commentator. Any thoughts on Kris Kloss?
No, Kris Kloss. I love Kris Kloss. He's so funny. I'm going to say this nicely. He's such an idiot, but, like a funny, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love him. I love him more than anything. I seen him. We did the Wrestle reunion this past week, and he was there, and he's like, his wrestling knowledge is just so like insane. It's like I forget everything. And he'll be there like, oh, and they'll like have answers to everything. And like, I had like the farmer's daughter come up and ask me for an autograph, the third one. He's the one telling me, oh, that was the third one. And then I'm like, oh my God. It's like, where do you get all this? It's like, I didn't know that. I was like, I just thought the farmer's daughter was the farmer's daughter.
What was that, Babe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. From good old Glow. I think you saw pictures of you with Sonny from the from that show.
Oh, yeah, and I love that, and I mark out for that. Like, honestly, I mark out for that, because I'll go up to Sunny. She's like, hey, Sabrina, how's it going? Because, like, honestly, and I always mark out that she asked me to be her friend on Facebook. I'm like, oh, my God, Sunny asked me to be her friend. It's like, I mark out for that, and then so I see her, and then I'm like, does she remember me? Does she know me? And then I go up to her, because I love her. She is, honestly, my favorite valet ever in wrestling, ever. And then so I go up to her, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, hey. And then she introduces me to her boyfriend. Oh, this is Supreme. I'm like, oh, my God. She knows me. Oh, my God. And I mark out hugely. It's Sunny because I love her. I love the Body Donnas. And then Road Warriors are my favorite tag team ever. And then to me, I'm like, oh my God, Sunny, like acknowledging me.
Yeah.
And then, then she's taking pictures and then introducing me boyfriend and then introducing me, oh, this is Supreme. I'm like, oh my God. To me, that's the greatest. That's fanboy moment.
Yeah. She's really cool. She actually sang on the show for us. I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, right. She's like totally cool. And it's like, oh my God. It's like, I just remember I remember her, it's like, that's my favorite valet ever.
Well,
people always say it's either her or Elizabeth, but to me it was her. And, it's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she reacts to me is like, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you got to wrestle, that like a similar feel? Like maybe you don't want to tell them, but I can't believe, I'm getting to wrestle this person.
Yeah, it was Sabu. I wrestled Sabu once in XPW, and it was funny because I was so out of shape. But I wrestled him, but I like marked out, and he gave me the leg drop, and I was on a table. He gave me the leg drop, and I'm like, oh my God. About to do this. That was my mark out moment of my career.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, because I still have, and before I became a wrestler, I seen Sabu wrestle Al Snow, and Pomona and Dan Farron on the show, and Terry Funk did a run-in. And then, they broke the table, so I still have that piece of table. And I had someone, I didn't do it, but I had someone go get Sabu sign it for me. I don't want to be too much of a mark. But and then the same box is like a Hellraiser box. I have a Hellraiser box, and I have a Sabu table, and I have the first ever table that I went through in that box too. But Sabu is probably the biggest. It's like once I seen Sabu wrestle on that Pomona show for Dan Farron and against El Snow, it's like I really didn't know hardcore was out there other than Bruiser Brody. And then once I seen that, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired me.
Is there anybody you haven't got a chance to wrestle yet that you really like to?
Not really. Other than people that passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Yeah, Brody or something.
Brody. I mean, honestly, the only person alive would probably be Animal. Road Warrior Animal. I just love the Road Warriors. That was my favorite tag team ever. Mm-hmm. That would be the only team that I'd love to do something to. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, last thing here, February 25th, MEXPW. You're wrestling the Messiah. He's coming from the East Coast, going back to California. What are your plans to do to this man?
No, my plans are doing a West Coast style death match. He does his little East Coast thing, and go ahead and do that. But I'm going to do my West Coast style, what I do, the style of death matches I do, and I will prevail. I mean, I am LA's or Hollywood's deathmatch champion, and I am going to be MEXPW's reigning deathmatch champion. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to guarantee it, and I'm going to follow through, and that's my goal.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming on. You come back on anytime you want to, and that's MEXPW. You get the link on the website, all the information, go there, and they update the website weekly. And definitely check out February 25th. That's 6 days after my 36th birthday. That's going to be at the arena in Hollywood, California. And thanks for coming on, man. I will not be there. I'm in Massachusetts, but I would like to be there.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of those East Coast guys that you don't like.
No, not necessarily, because you give me props. So it's not that I don't like you.
I get it.
It's the style of wrestling out there, okay?
All right, I got you. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Anytime.
All right.
Are we off air, Incher? We cannot hear Incher.
All
right. Yeah, we're all set. All right.
How'd you like it?
Oh, it was good. Good times.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
We have to work out his technical problems here because no one can hear him.